I was working my 9 to 5 until early 2021. So I hired a virtual assistant, Mike, and not you.
Oh, you a virtual assistant?
Yeah, I was actually his virtual assistant before all this. Yes.
9 to 5. But yeah, so I had a cold caller, but it was one cold caller and it wasn't really enough to generate sufficient leads. Working a day job, I was straddling two worlds. That I wanted to exit one, but I wasn't ready to exit IT. Wasn't ready to fully get into real estate either.
Mhm.
I didn't have the time or necessarily the experience at that point to train the VA. I didn't set him up for success. And we got to contextualize these things. I want to talk about VAs briefly as well.
Sure.
Go for it.
That's a huge topic, and
It
everything is context and recontextualizing things. Oh, VAs are terrible, or the data's terrible, the dial is terrible. We got three huge variables plus yourself in the situation, or the training of the VA. And again, another human being, not a commodity. They're all human beings
Yep.
feeding their family. We need to be as supportive and helpful. They'll only succeed if we succeed, and we'll only succeed if they succeed. So it's a chicken and egg. Oh, my data's bad. Oh, have you looked at the dialer to see how many drop calls you've got? Are you getting too many drops? You're not getting enough
Yep.
dial time. I don't understand these systems. But I understand the principles behind, well, okay, your dialer looks good. Well, the VA sucks. How much time you spend with them?
Yep.
Well, I talk to them every day. Oh, how much time do you do calibrating the calls, talking to them,
Mhm.
coaching them, listening to the calls with them, having them feedback to you what they learned from the call and sharing what you can see on the
Right.
call as well? Well, I'm not a salesperson. Could be a problem then.
Mhm.
How are you going to teach somebody that does laundry to build a house and expect them to do that? Do you know
Right.
what I mean? It's like
Right.
two very different things. How can you get some help? There are people that train VAs. There are services that provide trained VAs. You can obviously tweak the nuances to make it fit your business, but there are many different lead generation sources, and it all comes back to, well, you got shitty data. What data do you get? Well, I just pulled some addresses from here. I heard that Pace or Jamil or somebody said pull this list. Would you know exactly what you're looking for? Yeah, I think so. Or what else have you stacked that with? What do you stack?
Mhm.
So it just all comes back to a big soup.
It is.
You can have all the
Right,
same
right.
ingredients, but unless you put the right ingredients in the right proportions, and whether it's stock concentrated rather than diluted,
Mhm.
unless you get everything together and keep tasting it along the way, don't keep changing things every 2 minutes
Yeah.
or every 2 days. Give it 60 days. Start looking at the data. Is things improving as your VA gets more experience? Is the dialer doing what it needs to do and checking all of these things along the way? And get some outside help.
Yeah.
Partner with somebody. If you've got, I lead a group here in Arizona, and when people come to me, which I try and talk to as many newer people as I can, my first question to them is, so what do you do in your current career? What was your last career? What gave you joy about doing that? That gives me the first key to, you shouldn't wholesale.
Right.
How so? Give us an example.
Whatever their thing is, or maybe they should wholesale.
Okay.
You got one, I think Brett Daniels told me this. You got the 3 T's: time, talent, and treasury. You can bring one or more of those things to a situation. I've got a full-time job. I don't have the time,
Yep.
but I might have the treasury or the funds to be able to hire a VA or pay for leads to come in. And I may not have the talent to be able to follow up and close the deals. Depends on whether they're inbound leads or outbound leads, another conversation. Maybe if I got inbound leads, that might not be the right combination unless I've got somebody available to pick up those leads.
Right.
And again, partner with somebody. Okay, I've got a $2,000 a month budget, a $1,000 a month budget. I'm going to pay a VA. I'm going to get a dialer. I'm going to buy this data. I'm going to get all of this stuff, but I don't know how to use it. Is it more efficient to give somebody $1,000 a month to get maybe 5% of what they're going to generate in revenue or learn from what they're doing, or have first option to buy the deals if you're buying as well?
Right.
Put an ingredient in somebody else's soup to improve that one, rather than just try and cut carrots with a
Butter knife.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you hit it right on the head. It's people take this shotgun approach and they just want to say, all right, well, I'm hiring the VA and then I don't have to do anything. I can step back and get instant leads, and it just doesn't work that way.
It's like finding somebody on the street and expecting them to be a plumber
Yeah.
and
You-
fixing
it really
the toilet.
is.
You haven't given them the tools or
I
anything.
haven't given them the tools.
Or you give them the tools, but they don't know what to do with them. What's that analogy that you hire a plumber, he charges you $1,000 for fixing your hot water tank because he whacked it with a hammer on the top.
Mhm.
Person complains, well, why is that $1,000? You just hit the thing with a hammer. Well, it's only $10 to hit it with a hammer, but it was $990 for the 10 years of experience that taught me
Right.
when and where to hit the hot water tank.
True.
So how, going back into when you meet, first meet the new person getting in our business, it's the mindset, right? It's like
Yep.
they even have them start thinking creative leverage, because I think a lot of people are trained of, hey, this is like, when I would always say, hey, let's split deals to like bird dogs or whatever, I would get a lot of feedback like, this is my deal. Like, what do you mean split it? They can't even comprehend just the way they're raised, or that's how you do things.
Do you remember at
Mhm.
high school, elementary school?
Yep.
Yes.
Do that on your own. Stop looking at the
Yep.
other
Stop
paper.
looking at the other.
Don't help him.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
And it's bred into the world's culture through education.
So true.
So-
It's you have to figure it out on your own, and that's not the way life is.
Sure.
Life is, you have to, like you said earlier, you got to collaborate. You got to bring your partners to the table. You got to leverage, like you said, Mike. And by doing that, you can go a lot further, faster. But like you said, the educational system taught us, it's you by yourself, individual. And the only way you succeed is by being an individual. And that's just not the way life works.
Yeah.